Welcome back to Hollywood Animal. I do hope you're having a great day. Today's voting day. We're going to try to stop the code from being a thing. So, it's May 16th. I think there was 2 days left to vote, so that was a day ago. So, basically going to be voting tomorrow, I think is what it is. Let's get as much influence points as we can here. We're at 2960. Now, I don't know if that's enough, because if I remember the order of voting correctly, GB's behind us. They're the most motivated to do this. The guy even stopped me and told me a story about his stupid dog. So I need to get some more influence points just to make sure this thing doesn't pass is what I want to do. So just to see if I can make that happen. So I am going to throw a mayor party, or party with the mayor, right? Spend some GP there. We're going to do it again. And we're going to do it one more time. All right, that gives me 3860. So, that's the influence points I have to work with on the vote. Here's voting day. Accept the code. Any studio that releases a film with the specified story elements will be fined or expelled from the Alliance. The initiative will take effect on January 1st. So, my films that I have pending right now, in production right now, those will be fine because they're going to release before January 1st. Okay. So, Hephaestus, Supreme, Evergreen Movies, Marganese, they all want it. They all voted yes. They don't have a whole lot of influence. Like I said, GB's the big one. Right now, we need 947 just to put it back to 0, and I don't know what he's got. But I think I'm going to put 3860 into this sucker. I'm going to put every influence point I have and hope that it's enough to get rid of, to take down this vote. Oh my God, they have more. They're just gonna, it doesn't matter. It simply doesn't matter. Wow. Wow. I wonder if that's just scripted. Like, GB simply has more than you have no matter what you have. I put so much into that. Well, I guess that's the way it goes. Delay the adoption of the code. Enforcement of the code will be delayed for a year. Okay, there's initiatives we could go after. Interesting. Add story element to the code. Selected story element will be deemed immoral and banned if I want to add something to it. Okay, or remove the story element from the code and we can get it, will no longer be banned. Okay, so if we want to go with things like that. Great. Okay, so I kind of burned all my favors with the mayor. I'm gonna have to suck up to him again to get. Oh boy, that was expensive. That was a very expensive failure. But I did everything I could, as far as I know. My guy in engineering just passed away. He had a plus 20%. He was level 3, and he was only charging me $211 a month. Oh boy. All right, we need to replace him. And we can replace him with, I mean, level 3s are here. I guess I could get, I like this one better. Freaking, yeah, I don't know anymore. If I'm spending influence points, I don't know. Here, Pete, I think it's probably scripted. You know, that kind of sucks. I think it's scripted that they always put, they're probably always going to vote after you, and they probably always vote more than you have, no matter what you have. I feel like that's a thing. That sounds like a thing this game would do, because a lot of other stuff this game does is scripted too. Let's put this here. We'll get Willis Brothers. We're going to get the operations center operational. See what we can do. Now, we don't have any influence points. We have to release films to make that happen. And I had to do some more things. So I'm going to have to tout the mayor's achievements, unfortunately, in my theaters for the next 6 months to get enough points to start getting more influence points that way again. I can release all 4 of these movies have immoral things in them that are against the code. So I need to make sure that all these movies release before January 1st. That's essentially how it has to work. So Alien is done. It's going to get distribution now. None of these posters matter to... None of those posters... none of those things scream sci-fi. That's what I mean to say. Oh yeah, hit that holiday. sure. And then 7.1, we'll bring it down to about here. Let's go here. Let's go here. This one is going to be the other film, I think. So I'm going to want to bring this down a little bit so I can have more room for the other film. It's not enough for the other film anyway. Yeah, it's not enough for the other film anyway. We'll just max these out because we're not going to release anything along it. And then I'm going to express print this so I can hit that holiday. Start the advertising right now. Put it to there. This one is going to appeal to young men. So we're going to want probably here, 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 and here. Doesn't really have the highest of artistic score, but I'll hit this too. So we'll spend it. Let's get it done. And then we'll pop a trick maybe right here for the second run here later on. All right, and confirm that. All right. So that happened. That's wild. That's so wild. Just lost 3,800 influence points on a failed vote. I would like to know. I would like someone to tell me. Someone tell me if that's scripted or not. Someone tell me if that vote always passes no matter how many influence points you give it. Just so I can feel better. Because otherwise, if it's like, no, they have a maximum that they can put to it, then I'll say, well, shit, I shouldn't have spent the influence points the whole time, you know? There's another 5.0 guy. We'll get him for 5 years. I don't, at this point, I don't care about the money. We have so much of it, I don't care. All right, 5 years. Although 5 years for guys is probably not a good idea because they're going to go off to war. So that was spoiled for me, but it makes sense, I guess. They're going to go off to war. Oh. I proudly present to you, Son of the Fatherland. Oh boy. Assistant to the German consul. A destined epic about the birth of the fatherland. The writer, Ulrich Jost, I believe is how you actually say that name, worked on the script nonstop for 2 years. He practically lived in the library. We even gave him access to the secret sections, where only the inner circle of the party are allowed. The historical council studied the results of his work for nearly 3 months and unanimously concluded the entire script is the purest truth. Believe me, I understand perfectly well that you have little interest in all this history and the origins of the Reich, but you're probably interested in fascinating stories, and Son of the Fatherland has a story like no other. Even my black heart trembles before the climax every time I read it, which I've done so often that I know it by heart. We would happily make this film ourselves, but today a film made in Germany will be shown only in Germany. And we do not wish this heart-wrenching story to fall victim to prejudices and politics. It would be a different matter if an American studio took on the film. We will have a true documentary about German history. You will get a guaranteed hit, and the audience will receive a gripping epic. Everyone wins. For this, we are willing to invest $1.5 million for the production. And of course, you can keep all the profits from the North American box office. We'll sort it out, the rest of the world. Let's see what kind of story you have first. Son of the Fatherland. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to make it for him, but let's just read it anyway. The protagonist is a warrior. Is a fighter whose code of honor and personal beliefs are more important than any orders. In ancient Roman times, there lived a great commander, Tankmar the Blonde. He defended the empire from the hordes and was famous for his ruthlessness. Tankmar had but one weakness. He loved children. Tankmar burned the huts of the barbarians and impaled their heads on spikes. But the orphaned children he fed and clothed. And on their knees, they swore to renounce their ancestors and their animal ways. They were barbarian not by blood, but by upbringing. Plucked from the wild, they will become Romans, so said Tankmar. Tribal chief antagonist. Once, a young barbarian named Losk was on his knees before the Roman commander. Tankmar had torn his family limb from limb, but he'd spared Losk. Yet the barbarian could not appreciate his kindness and vowed revenge on Tankmar. The years passed, and Losk grew. He became stronger, found his own tribe, and became their chief. But the hatred in his barbarian heart was always seething. One day, Losk turned to his fellow tribesmen. "We will avenge our mothers and fathers," the barbarian horde shouted in reply. "Let's take revenge. We'll gouge out Tankmar's eyes." "No," Losk said. "That is not our goal. I have a dream. Tankmar's youngest son, Eberhard, will kneel before me and renounce his father, as I once renounced mine." Torture in captivity is the theme. Suffering torture at the hands of the enemy figures into the plot somehow. That very night, the barbarians lay in wait for blue-eyed Eberhard, not far from the Roman camp. They captured and bound him and brought him to Losk. "Kneel and renounce your father, and I will spare you." Eberhard beheld his barbarian captors and was so sickened by their twisted faces and ugly hooked noses that he nearly fainted in disgust. But Eberhard gathered his strength, stood his ground, and did not kneel. He proudly lifted his blonde head and spat right in the dirty barbarian's eye. Losk wiped his face and ordered Eberhard thrown into the deepest hole until he came to his senses. When Tankmar learned that his youngest son was missing, he raised his fists to the moon. "Sneaky Losk! You never became a Roman, and you never will." He went to his wife and said quietly, "I made a mistake, Verena. You were right all along. It is not by their upbringing that they are barbarians, but by their animal blood. Tankmar then took up the giant sword he inherited from his ancestors. I got this. And with all his might, set the blade upon the grindstone, and in the morning he set forth. Rescue mission. Someone endeavors to save someone or is hoping to be rescued themselves. For 3 days, Tankmar followed Losk's tracks, and at last he found the barbarian camp. He climbed up the highest hill and shouted for all to hear, "Listen to me, barbarians! A person can be educated, but an animal is always waiting for the moment to bite. Expect no further mercy. I shall put everyone in your tribe to the blade, young and old alike." With these words, Tankmar rushed to attack. With a single stroke of his mighty sword, he severed the heads of 12 children. Then he set upon the adults. As the surviving barbarians fled in cowardice, Tankmar pulled his son from the pit. He took him in his arms, and they traveled home along the forest paths. The barbarians knew that Tankmar couldn't fight at full strength with Eberhard at his arms. They grew bold and hurried off in pursuit. The pursuers grew in number. Tankmar could hear the wild screams of the barbarian at his heels, the tramp of their feet, the whistling arrows ready to pierce his neck. But Tankmar was stronger and more agile than they. He wove between the trees, skipping from path to path, and gradually shaking off his pursuers. But it was then, at the very edge of the forest, when Tankmar had nearly slipped his pursuers, that one of the vile Losk's arrows pierced his leg. The protagonist dies heroically. There's no hero to this. Tankmar knew that he and his son would be taken prisoner and forced to renounce their ancestors. He hugged Eberhard with all of his strength. "My son, It is better to die than to kneel before animals. His mighty hands gripped the hilt of his sword, and he impaled himself and his son upon the fearsome blade, through and through. With his final breath, the dying Tankmar whispered, "Someday my glorious descendants will avenge everything." What do you say, impressive right? Okay. I think I know where they're going with this. I see the metaphor they're trying to portray here. But I'm not making this movie. No. I'm sorry to hear that. We can easily find another studio that will jump at our offer. That's fine. Now with Zero, do you become no longer a thing? Or does it become no longer a friend, quote unquote, in my list? We got high quality locations now. That's great. Let's have international location scouting, which is great. I don't know if that's really going to help us as much, though, as having amazing quality sets. Sets and props working faster seems good. Amazing quality costumes and props. Amazing quality sets. I think we'll go with costumes and props, since this will help us on locations too. So we'll grab 300K here. I don't have any influence. Oh my god. I have no influence. It is what it is. I have plenty of money. I don't need the Germans' money, but yeah. So it does appear as though he's still on the list. He's just at 0, which is not negative. That's great. I don't really think I need anything from him, though, so I'm good. 71 days left in police protection. I do think maybe cinema raids. Let him do this. I'm about to have films release for 6 months. Yeah, I think I'm not going to do that. I'll just wait on that. I got time on that. So what's happened today so far? We had the vote for the code, and the Gernstein brothers are OP. We learned that. I also need to do things for the mayor to get that back. So I'm trying to get more back so I can get more influence from that way. Releasing films also helps my influence. So it's going to build back up. It just takes time. We're still holding the illegal gifts. Our security guy is having more luck than the last guy. That's good. A spirited young lady protagonist. I'll need this one for next time. A dreamer and a rebel from a noble family. A strong personality who flies against stereotype. Lovely. How do we get... It's 200 days for double IP per script. I mean, I need that. I definitely need that. Let's see. So iMachine is now down to an 8.0, but that's fine. It needs to be over 5, and we did that. So rookie director Riccardo Conti. I wonder if there should be a bullet point for the challenge that I was talking about earlier for our second run. Should there be an asterisk in that? Because I said I would use only female actors. Like, I would only use actresses, right? But should we have an exemption for that? If, like in the case of the mayor wanting Wendy to work, if there is somebody else, like a mafia guy or whatever, and they have somebody they want me to use in a movie and it's a male, should I be allowed to use him, right? Because that's kind of like progressing the story and also giving us options for like interactions and stuff. So I feel like I should be allowed to use him, I feel like. You know, I'm kind of going there. I think so. Alien is going to get another showing. So we want to make sure we have enough showings for that. Let's go 9 here. Actually, iMachine has Cleo. And Cleo has the star power. She's going to double this, isn't she? I think she is. I'm pretty sure she's got the star power. We're going to put this all the way up. Alien's just not going to have any showings. I mean, it's a good film. It needs some second showings here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to 11. I'll go to 10 and a half. 10 and a half, and then I give Alien extra showings there, and then this one here will go 11.6. No, 11.3. So we'll go up here, and then this last one will go about like this. So we'll leave only 300 showings basically for Alien here. Yep, and then I think it'll just basically be the same there, because we'll probably max that out. Ooh, yeah. Well, there's no reason to hit this date. We could always extend it a little bit there. I suppose that's probably true, yeah. Okay, in that case, we can bring this up a little bit more here. We can bring this up a little bit more here. And I think at this point, we'll just max out that final week since Alien won't be showing that week. So we're not leaving very many showings for Alien in that second little bit. This week and this week, it can show. But after that, there's like nothing. Yeah, let's go ahead and extend that there. And then this is good for women. iMachine is really good for women. Okay. Well, worse for boys. So you, middle-aged older people are probably still fine here. I think maybe we'll advertise here too. And then, intelligent young people, time to get past, quoted in the kitchen arguments and stuff. It sounds like women do get some exposure to this too. So I don't know if I would really want to put the movie with nudity. We're going to target it towards the children. But the company has attempted to gather an older audience with fashion and health magazines. Whatever. This is a parenting choice. Okay? It's up to the parents to control what their kids are exposed to. It's not my problem. I'm gonna go and do some dirty tricks on this one. Yeah, Cleo. Surprise wedding appearance. That sounds good. And then we can also get another trick here. We'll get even more stuff going on in that next week. And then I think because there's 2 extra weeks here, not 1. I think because there's 2 extra weeks. Yeah, I think I can go here. Then these can be maxed out. Okay. So we'll confirm that. And Alien will begin doing its thing. We have now production support. This is great. We have stuff on location. We have stuff that'll help them, like catering and stuff. You can get high level service. Like that too. Is there anything that's better for us though? An emergency location search would be good. Yeah, right here. We want this. I can't have no influence. We want this. Level 3 sound stages. Gross. So gross. Image didn't take hold. It's fine. Victor's got it. That's good. Scylla's back from her vacation. Let's take a look at production support. And we're going to place this right over here, I guess. Yeah, I don't think there's any real reason to keep that open right there, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Let's put it right here. We'll get production support so we can have, like, you know, on location crafty. Gotta have crafty. That makes it a lot more comfortable if people can have. If you don't know what crafty is, it's craft services. Everybody just calls it crafty. You know, you get your food, your coffee, you know, lunch. You get catering, you know, hot meals, that kind of thing. You want a Snickers bar? It's at Crafty. Herman Watson. Want to be rehired for something? He does. He's like, man, I want more movies like that. Too bad the code is going to be a thing, unfortunately. Oh. Okay. So -1-1 situation. Got it. Okay, Operations Center is up. And also for him, we need to get that movie going because it needs to release before January 1st. It's a 9.9 film, baby. I knew it. It's all that sex. I'm telling you, happiness of the cast and crew was a big factor. I agree. I can understand. Emma, do your best. And then music recording medium, sound recording up, go. It's probably going to end up being like an 8 or something, but we'll see. Okay, so with Operations Center being up there, let's take a look at covert operations. So we want to target Gernstein brother talent here, I would say. And I'm leaning towards taking down some of their big stars. Like Emma here, 2-time award winner, Emma Rauch here. Superstar. I think we get a big threat here. And I think we get our level 2 agent, who has a 61% chance at a neutral outcome, 1% chance at success. That's crazy. All right, let's see what that's about. I'm not sure how that's going to work. We can do multiple at a time. Of course, we're going to continue to target the Gernsteins. This time, I'm going to beat this man to an inch of his life. And we're going to do that. Ah, here we go. Yeah, 27% chance of success. Much better. Let's get Dennis on that. We're going to set up another one. I'm getting busy here. Pete. Very skilled rising star. Pete. I got something for you, Petey. His name is Vernon Rice. Ooh, that's very less likely, isn't it? Man, Pete's he must know karate. Oh, you know what? He probably has the security. I bet he has somebody. I bet he has somebody guarding him. You know, that could be a thing. What about Ramon? He got somebody guarding him? Nope. Vernon Rice. Go do your thing. Got so many people going after them though. All right, spicy film strips are now available for us. All the illegal stuff. Let's get something a little less illegal. Let's go with a car and driver for now. Something I can offer them a little bit easier here. Now, if I go to gifts, illegal, spicy film strips. Let's get like 5 of them. We can always offer those to some of our less pent up, or I guess more pent up clientele. Wallace here. He's disciplined. Our less disciplined people. People who are more likely to be okay with things like that. 231,000. Oh yeah, we're just going to get a whole bunch of these people. 7.0. I'm just going to get you guys all for 5 years. Get you the medical coverage too, just to save a little bit. There you go. Alrighty then. No story elements there either. How are we doing on this film? Is everybody happy? Need to make sure. Oh, you know, this is in we're editing this right now anyway. It's Mini Serpent. Is everybody happy? Yes. They're very happy. They're not super loyal, but they are very happy, and that is what it's, especially in a comedy, that's very necessary. So let's get that going. Our technology's improved. It's fantastic. And I'm going to go ahead and get these 2 upgrades now with our 2 teams. It's not going to take very long. Now, we're going to have to also get some films that will need to be released when the code is an active thing. I only have 71 influence points, which isn't great. I'm going to need a lot more. There are other things I can enact, like limiting the number of releases every year. This is going to make it more likely that I can, do what I need to do. If I release only like 3 or 4 movies a year and I put all my money into those, it's more likely that I can get this. Take all 3 of the highest grossing spots. I need this, and then it's very easy to get this one once I have this. So I was thinking about putting this in, but now that I look at this and now that I think about it, right? If I do this, that means other studios are also putting all their eggs in the one basket. It becomes harder for me to do it. So I actually have an invested interest in them releasing as many films as possible and putting all their money into as many films as possible. So maybe that's not how I want to play it. Limiting film budgets could be a thing. Limiting release periods, limiting the number of screenings per film. I think all of these are good for me though. This is something I would want to do if I was a trash studio. You know, I would want to help my own self by maybe limiting the film budgets, for example, would help me as a trash studio. Limiting the number of screenings would probably help me as a trash studio. If I come over this side, establish a minimum level of amenities, delay the adoption of the code. I can't unblock it because I don't have enough influence. Okay, so we have some things we might be able to do there, assuming I can get influence to do them. And it's going to require me, I think, to get some more scripts as well. So I think if I go into a story workshop really quick, let's use some of these new elements we have. And I'm actually just going to call this one element. I don't know what it's about yet. I'm just going to do that. So science fiction detective adventure. Yeah. This is a science fiction detective adventure. We'll go about like this. I don't have a new setting yet, so we'll say it takes place in a modern city. It doesn't really work for science fiction, but all right. And we have a lot of different things to choose from now that we haven't used yet. So how about we get a spirited young lady, strong personality who flies against the stereotype. I assume that's fine by the code. Accidental hero has to be, it doesn't have to be a male. It says male character, but it doesn't have to be. Let's go spirited young lady. The antagonist for this is a mad scientist, which cannot be female. So I wouldn't be able to use this next time. At least, yeah. What would I be limited to here? Heartless bureaucrat, robot. At least I can have the robot. As long as I can have my fembots, I'm fine. Serial killer, murderer, witch would be allowed. Evil monster, corrupt official, enemy gangs and stuff would also be allowed. Okay, but no bandits. All right, supporting character. We would go... It's a science fiction. It's not a fantasy. A wizard would be fantasy, not science fiction. Let's have a femme fatale and a mentor. And it'll be like, yeah, I think that's probably good. Themes and events. What are we going to do here for our spirited young lady? They describe this as a dreamer and a rebel from a noble family. A strong personality who flies against the stereotype. All right, so that changes things a little bit for me. I'm going to add strict parent in here. For themes and events, we're going to go generational conflict. Let's get rid of femme fatale. We're going to go with... I need this to be safe for the code. We could do a long journey. Yeah, we could do a long journey. And... let's see. Strong personality, dreamer. It could be a dream to go and do something. We're not searching for anything. There's a mad scientist maybe getting in our way. Struggling for a better life. If she's coming from a noble family, she probably doesn't have that kind of struggle. Fighting for the hypocrisy of American life. That's not going to be allowed by the code. Runaway is a thing, I suppose. She's running away, going on a long journey. That does make sense. So they at least work together. And maybe, you know, protagonist gets some kind of redemption. I'm not sure what she's getting redemption for. I don't know what the mad scientist is there for now. What's the mad scientist doing here? This is mostly just like like right now the film is a person who is conflicted and wants to leave her strict parents, so she just walks someplace. She just goes somewhere. That's the film. There you go. That's our film. Thanks, code. You know what? Let's take the get chance for a better life thing. We'll bring the runaway out of here. Actually, I think the runaway works. I think runaway works better than long journey for this. We'll go. I actually want 9. I want 9 elements now. I want 9 elements. but I can't have it. Yeah, I don't think the spirited young lady thing's gonna work for me, unfortunately. So we're gonna change it to accidental hero. Can still be female. We're gonna switch this to a sidekick. Now it makes a little bit more sense. Mad scientist, chance for better life, generational conflict. And we put this as a struggle for better life here. Sidekick is female. Strict parent will be our male. We have a male mad scientist. So 4 actors total with some kind of generational conflict and a chance for better life. From American City as science fiction. It doesn't really work for science fiction, does it? I don't think the science fiction thing is working. There's not really a mystery to solve here either. So I think we'll go drama and change. I'll go with this. I'll go with this. It could be a science fiction setting. I don't have the setting for it, but we can pretend. With the mad scientist, it kind of can work that way. Okay, and we'll get a screenwriter for this. It's gonna be Richard because he's awesome. Do it big, Richard. You can do it, man. There, at least I've got an original script coming. All right, and we'll get everybody's contracts settled here, and then 3 movies for this actor too. Off you go. Thank you, Jeffrey. Result of the beating failed. Agent revealed. William Wheeler. Oh, I revealed my... So he failed, and therefore this actor will never work for me. Big deal. He was with GB anyway. I don't care. It's fine. We'll set up distribution for Alien again. This time we can have all these we want, but we're very limited on these 2, right? So there we go. And go. Hopefully not every agent reveals themselves. That's something I don't want to have happen. So hopefully you guys don't just keep doing that. Like maybe fail the beating, but don't like fail the threat, but don't reveal yourself. Damn it. Don't reveal yourself. And they're all gonna critical fail here. That's just how that's gonna work. Wow. Post-production for him puts it at 9.7. That's amazing. Good job. Good job, everyone. GG. All right, this distributes all by itself. And I'm going to put this. iMachine's going to run for 2 weeks, so we're going to put it here. Alien will run 2. So for him, we'll be here. Get our prints copied. We're maxing this out. 9.6 for there. We're going to target that. And then, yeah, right about here is where that's going to be. If I max this out, no other film will be near it. Which is, I think, okay. Maybe we take... I hate to take opening weekend down. Makes more sense to take the other weekends down. We'll bring this one down to 9.9. Gives us some kind of opening for... Let's give ourselves some kind of opening for another film. Right? Because we have other films coming, right? No. You're at 35 more days, then you need a month. And then, so like 2 months from now, Mini Serpent maybe releases. So that's about here, yeah. So we'll do about something like this. Just give it extra space. Or we just guarantee Mini Serpent always opens here. We just know that Mini Serpent opens here. Let's just do that. We'll say that Mini Serpent's going to open right there. So we'll max out the theater for this film during this film's shoot. We'll extend our advertising this way. This is best targeting women. I'm going to go like this with it. And maybe hit that too, I guess. We'll overspend on ads. It's fine. It'll still make me money. Felix will go ahead and surprise somebody at their wedding. And then over here, we'll have another one where... Okay. I know Charlie will do it. Visit the orphanage. Yeah. Charlie will visit that orphanage. Okay. Live broadcasts of sporting events were shown for the first time at the 11th Summer Olympic Games in Germany. 33 new public TV studios were opened for the occasion across Berlin, Potsdam, and Leipzig. The competitions were even filmed from helicopter and underwater. Gerard Alloy? I don't know how you say it. I'm just going to go with Al. Editor-in-chief of Supernova magazine writes enthusiastically about the Olympics. The Germans are doing something incredible. We'll not see such miracles in America anytime soon. All possible thanks to the will of the Fuhrer. There's no need to ask who benefits from Hitler's persecution in the American press. Okay. Meeting unsuccessful, but that doesn't mean we got revealed. So Ramon, still have a chance for Ramon here. I want the smallest possible chance at failure. So that's going to be you. Go. Okay. He didn't reveal himself. That's the important thing. Just don't let them know. Just don't let them know who it is that's trying to, take him down. Probably should get more security agents, start protecting some of my people too. Let's say I want, because if I'm going to reveal myself as someone who's going after him, then he's probably going to retaliate. Tell you what, we'll get you, and let's go you. And then who are my really high-end people? Really important people. Cleo. Cleo is going to have around-the-clock protection. We have a 15% passive protection, so we can get 30 total on her, I guess. We'll just make sure that you're on protecting her at all times. We'll get somebody on Danny as well, I think. It's probably a good thing. Arnold, go ahead and protect Danny. Let's get somebody on Hilda. You can select agents here. Let's get somebody on you as well. Our passive protection is 10%. Okay, so 10% plus 15. I mean, 1 in 4 is 1 in 4 chance of getting out of there is a hell of a lot better than a 1 in 10 chance. So it's fine. All right, iMachine's getting released right as production support's done, and this is the film for him. So let's take a look at how that worked out. It's an A-. Bone Grinder loves it. Love has infinitely many shades. And between blacks, between whites, between blacks and whites, none of this stops it from being love. It's sad such a simple truth won't fit into the tight cranium of the feeble-minded majority. Speaking of the feeble-minded majority, Jacob Gutman from The Sword of Christ. Close your eyes and think of something wonderful. What do you see? The archway to the gates of heaven? A holy angel? The Virgin Mary? No, surely you imagine naked breasts and tantalizing thighs. For the seed of debauchery has already sprouted deep in your lost soul. Thus are you forsaken, with Hollywood to blame for everything. Your thoughts are only more proof that this filthy sewage has no place on American soil. I guess I'm not really all that popular with the religious lot. Spent a bunch of money on it. There we go. Not that it matters, since I don't have any theaters I can rent. Although I'd love some more theaters to buy. Why would I love that? Let's see. Any more theaters? Nope. Nothing to buy yet. All right. Yep. I hear that they open up. I hear that there's more coming. I just haven't seen that actually happen. Keep getting those story elements, guys. Writers. So we have 2,600 is not bad. You're an action writer and you're available. 2,600 is actually pretty expensive, but I mean, everybody else who's here, I guess I could get Lucas, but like, what's his cap at? I think I'd rather get you. I'm gonna pay you 2,600 a month to get you on my payroll, and then I'm gonna have you searching for things. 78%. That's pretty good. I like that. 78% to find it. Okay. So we got 100 on these. That's no surprise. I think we end Alien because we have another film that's going to be taking up all the space now. Protection for police raids is over. Let's go ahead and make sure we refresh that. And we're going to have to do something for the cops now. Pretty soon anyway. I guess in a year. We have in one year we're going to have to start doing things for them. A year and a half. Willie Richards passed away from a mysterious illness at 31 years old. Yeah, I'm thinking this stuff is sabotage. This many people passing. Oh, he's revealing himself too. Wow. Just crit failures all around here, eh? Security forces. GG for all your terrible efforts. We could try to remove a story element from the code. Limit ownership of movie palaces. We don't really have palaces yet, but maybe we will later. Increase the minimum wage of ordinary employees. Establish a minimum level of amenities. Remove story element from code. I like this. I don't know if it's worth getting that because I'd have to... Ooh, we can get espionage. Yeah, tell me what the Gernstein brothers are up to. Apply that. Who was the other one that has a lot of influence? Who's the other one that has a lot of influence? Cinemas are owned by who? So Evergreen Movies owns almost as many as Gernstein does. And then Supreme after that. Nope. And then Hephaestus after that. Okay, so basically Evergreen Movies is like third place. So, well, assuming I'm first. No, whatever. So I would want to place espionage on them as well. So let's get Clyde in there too. Tell me what they're up to, okay? Wow. This guy's very expensive now. He is. Whew. Look at him. Look at you. So expensive. I'm going to get you for 5 years. If this discount didn't exist, you're like incredibly expensive. If I give you some spicy film strips, ooh. That's for me? You're quite the joker. You nearly had me believing you're serious. I was even starting to wonder who to tell first. A psychiatrist I know or a police officer? Ha 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 ha. Okay, fine. He doesn't like that stuff. He's disciplined. Okay. Fine. You're so funny. Okay. Who can I give those things to? I guess I'd give drugs to a drug addict. Who else? Who would I give the spicy stuff to? What kind of perks? What kind of person would you have to be to take one of those? Probably not the misogynist. Maybe the misogynist. I don't know. Xenophobe, arrogant, alcoholic would probably take some stuff, I guess. Maybe a gambler. Maybe the gamblers would take it. Conceited definitely would not. Sorry, not conceited. It's the what's the other one where they think they're holier than thou, that kind of thing. Oh, the libidinous person would definitely love that. Yeah, they would definitely take that. All right. I gotta learn how those illegal gifts work. It's gonna be good. I am now ready for post-production on Mini Serpent. Finally. It's a 9.9. The script is unbelievably good, and it also has that star power, so it will need to release solo. It will need to release not next to anything else if we want to maximize what it can make. However, it needs to release this year because it has stuff that's not allowed in it. So basically, that's why I'm holding off on producing anything else, because I don't know. So 100 here, basically maxed out the screenings. 100, 100. Now we're dropping 84. Now we're dropping 51. And that was with the spurt. So now we can probably get by, I would say, with this many. We're going to get a little bit of renewed interest in it here, though. So I think I'll go ahead, since I don't have anything else releasing here, right? So I guess we'll just do this. Okay, we don't have anything else. We kind of ended Alien instead of restoring it, because that's my bad. I was supposed to bring it in again, but that's why that didn't have as many showings. It left a little bit of cushion there because Alien was supposed to be there. But this is all solo stuff right here, so we might as well just do this. Because I don't have anything else. I've had people, you know, not criticize, but like ask me why I don't just share it all the way all the time. And it's because if you're going to release a movie here, you know, like if Alien is going to, you know, play again, if you're going to release something here, you need showings available. So like I can't just give it 100% here. That means there's nothing for this film. Which is what it didn't matter because I didn't play it again, but that's why. So in this case here, for example, if iMachine is going to play here and I know ahead of time that's going to play here, then when I'm setting up this film, I'm not going to give it 100% of the showings. Because like if I do that, then there's nothing left for this film. In this case though, for him is going to rock the world, so whatever. So if I ever set up a movie here, I would want to make sure that there's films available for it. And then I think what I'm going to do for this next film, for the Monty Python thing, I'm going to try to target Thanksgiving. And then that can run through here to where the movie ends its theater debut here at 28. So effectively, I'm going to try to get Monty Python to be here right after For Him. So I'm going to need to watch that because For Him needs to go again, probably. I don't need to. Is the idea, I guess the way to look at this is this. It doesn't matter if your film serves the maximum amount that film is capable of. Okay? What matters most of all, above everything else, is that you are filling every possible theater seat you can. Okay? That's the big thing. So it doesn't matter if I show this film for only a single month, even if it's a really good film. If I only show it for 1 month, the only thing that's going to hurt me with is whether or not it, you know, makes it #1 in the box office or not, right? Which I'm not going to get that this year, so it's going to have to be next year, right? That's the only thing that's going to matter here. But the whole thing, the only thing that matters is that you fill as many butts in the seats as possible here. So if I can, you know, if I'm hitting 100% on this film and in the second month, and let's say the second month for this film, I'm only giving it like this many, but I'm hitting 100%, and you're like, you should give it more. It doesn't matter as long as the other film that's taking up that extra space is also hitting 100%. Because my maximum I can earn is this, right? So it doesn't matter if I raise it up for this one, as long as the extra seats that this is not having is filled by another film. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. I took way too long to describe something that was very, very simple to say, but there it is. A parent figure, as opposed to a strict parent. This one is one that's loving and caring. Someone who cares like a parent. Oh, not an actual parent, just a parent figure. Got it. Understood. All right, trick worked. I am gonna leave this here. So the next video, we will have life under the code eventually, I would think anyway. And we're gonna have to start making films like The Element that are like that. We have 2 scripts that we could get going on. I don't believe these have anything against the code here. I think these are okay. So we could start working on those. Or I could buy scripts like Amateur Cook. Holy shit, that's expensive. Never mind. Yeah, probably not that. But we could also buy scripts as long as they don't have you know, anything that's against the code in them, which I'm hoping that there's some kind of visual indicator on the screen when I start selecting things and making my own movies, you know, when I'm building my own scripts. I'm hoping that those things will be evident, which things are allowed and which things are not will be evident. But in any case, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.